Smile 2 is long legs good, and I will put money on that. Welcome back, and once again, thank you for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I watch movies and then I tell you all about them. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored, and spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you can go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. This is Smile 2, the sequel to Smile. Now, here's the thing. I don't actually remember much of anything about the original Smile. I remember I didn't like it very much. I think it was like the ending I didn't like. It made me mad. So I went into this not expecting a whole lot. I kind of figured that I wouldn't like this as well. But it was so freaking scary. Like, I had to watch it between my fingers, legitimately. And there's only been like 2 other movies I had to watch between my fingers this year. And that was The First Omen and Late Night with the Devil. Also, if you've been following along today, my secret theater spaghetti was a success. Anyway, so what's this about? So we open on a guy, and it says on the bottom, like, 6 days later. But I don't remember the ending, so it could be 6 days from anything, honestly. Well, he puts on a ski mask, and he runs up to this house. And I swear to you, I think it's the house from Long Legs, but I could be wrong. But if somebody goes to see it this weekend, please verify for me. But I'm almost certain it was the Long Legs house. The one at the beginning. But a guy's getting out of his car, and I thought he was a DoorDash driver, but it turns out he lives there. But he had these pumpkin frappuccinos in his hand, and I will give it to this man. The entire time he was held hostage by the ski mask guy, he never once dropped the pumpkin spice lattes. Anyway, the guy in the ski mask takes the latte man hostage, and they go in the house where latte man's brother is, and they were doing some kind of gang activity or whatever. Ski mask man kills latte man. And then he shot the brother, but the brother was supposed to live, and he was trying to pass on, like, the scary monster thing to the next guy, but it didn't work. And then there was somebody else at the house, and then cut to the actual opening. The main girl is a pop star named Sky. She's coming back after a year-long hiatus because her and her boyfriend were doing Pure Colombian Bam Bam in their car after leaving a party. They were fighting. She grabbed the wheel. They went off the guardrail. They crashed the car. He died, and she broke her leg and hurt her back. And so she went into recovery, and now she's back. And it's kind of like a Britney Spears situation when she first went under the conservatorship. She's really not ready to come back. She's in a lot of pain. She's kind of dealing with all the trauma and all that, but her mom's forcing her to go back, and her label's kind of forcing her to go back because she's got like this big tour coming up. I can't fix this because I don't have use of my left arm right now, but so she has all this back pain, and because of her substance use or her prior substance use, she's not allowed to have anything stronger than Tylenol. But she has like a drug dealer, and she gets Vicodin from him. Well, she goes over to get some Vicodin, and the scary smiley thing is already caught up to him, and he bashes his own face in with a like a weight. You see it in the previews, but it's fucking gnarly. Also, the guy at the beginning got hit by a car, and that was just as gnarly. Like, this movie is way gorier than the first one. Like, way gorier. So then, it does its thing. It starts following her around and taking shape of different people. There was, like, the little girl from the commercial. And then there was, like, an obsessed fan who got dragged off. And she starts seeing her drug dealer everywhere, the one that bashed his face in. And she's getting freaked out, mostly because she couldn't call the police because, he's a drug dealer. And she's a pop star. That would be, like, a whole thing. Anyway, she's freaked out, so she reaches out to her old best friend that, like, stopped talking to her when she was in the middle of her coke frenzy. So while the friend's on the way, she's, like, turning on the lights in her house, and she sees a whole bunch of clothes, like, in the floor, but it was the clothes from the obsessed fan, and it was, like, his shoes and his socks and his fucking not so whitey tighties, because they were great big poo-poo stains, and then a naked man at the end of her hallway, which turned out to be the scary demon monster thing. But then the friend shows up, and everything's back to normal, like it never happened. And this just keeps going on. It's like stuff happened, and then they actually never happened. She's getting all these texts from an unknown number, and it turns out to be this guy whose brother was also killed by the scary monster demon thing, and he's been trying to, like, track you down who keeps getting it next. And he's trying to explain, like, the only way you can really stop the monster thing is, like, if you kind of sort of kill yourself before it can get to you. But he's an RN, so if they kill her, he can bring her back really quick. And I thought this was going to be kind of like Countdown with the Narcan. It was not. Well, later in the night, she goes back home, and then the monster gets into her house again, and this time, instead of, like, one person, it's an entire dance troupe. It's coming at her very slowly and very modern dance-like, which come to find out is a lot scarier than them just running at her. Like, weirdly a lot scarier. And then her mouth gets fisted, and she wakes up in some kind of private hospital thing. She stabs her mom. She steals a gun. She GTAs and gets a SUV, and her best friend gets in, and they start driving, and then her phone rings, and her best friend is actually calling on the phone, and it turns out it's the little demon guy that's driving, and she realizes she's in control, or something to that effect, and so the scary monster man goes away, and now she's behind the wheel of the car, and now she's meeting the nurse guy that wants to kill her and bring her back, so they can try that, and it happens to be inside of a Pizza Hut, and the idea is that if they do this in a room that's cold enough, it'll preserve her brain long enough for him to bring her back. So yes, they were going to try to kill her and revive her inside of the walk-in freezer at the Pizza Hut. And as somebody who worked at a Pizza Hut, our freezer was definitely not that big. Walk-in maybe? Maybe. No, you could take out all the shelving and it still wouldn't be that big. Anyway, so then he just leaves and we never see him again. I think he was like a figment of her imagination or whatever. So then the scary demon monster thing comes back and it's taken the form of her, like during the car crash when her legs all pokey outy and she's all bloody and shit. And then come to find out everything has been a figment of her imagination and she's fixing to go on for a concert. And then, you know, it gets a hold of her and she stabs herself in the eye with a microphone and it kills her and the whole crowd sees. So now you have that problem. Although it's one monster, can it affect everybody? Like, does it have time to follow everyone? I mean, it did a whole dance troupe. I don't see why it couldn't do a stadium of people. But again, there's only one monster. Like, that would take a long time. But the end. Now, did I like it? Yes. Oh my gosh. Again, didn't like the first one. Didn't think I was gonna like this one. But holy Jesus. Albeit 2 hours was probably too long. And I feel like this being a sequel kind of does it a disservice because I really wish this would have been like part 1. But I am obsessed. The camera work, fucking stunning. The sound usage, fabulous. Albeit though, I am someone who is sensitive to like the really loud noises and it always freaks me out. But the actual like background music and shit, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And another idea of controversy, I will say this though. I do kind of wish this wasn't part of the Smile franchise. Like, if we were to make it not a demon that is following her around that actually, like, kills people and stuff like that. Like, if the monster were to turn out to be her own psychosis and the weight of stardom and all this other stuff, instead of, like, an actual scary monster thing that follows you around, we could have, like, an award-nominated film. Because the acting is fucking superb. I really do love everything about this movie. I just wish I had been prepared to be scared. This is an absolute must-see for Halloween. You have to do this. So much fun. Take your spooky big-titted goth girlfriend. Do it. Do it. Do it for all of us. 10 out of 10. Okay, bye. I gotta go watch some cartoons.